Why Unai Emey's ruthless decision to discard Jack Wilshere is good news for Arsenal. It has been the longest of goodbyes. In truth, the process began nearly 4 years ago when Jack Wilshere suffered a prototype Jack Wilshere injury, overcommitting, chasing a lost cause and seriously damaging his ankle in a challenge with Manchester United's Paddy McNair. There have been various comebacks, a loan spell at Bournemouth, England recalls and exiles since. But the 26-year-old rarely came close to suggesting his body would allow him to consistently display the form which marked him out as one of the most exciting midfield talents this country has produced in a generation. The biggest compliment you could pay Wilshere is that between 17 and 20 years old he was every bit as good, if not better, than Cesc Fabregas, who graduated from Arsenal's academy at the same age to force his way into the heart of a midfield that had underpinned Arsenal's invincible season. Mohamed Salah's World Cup dream all but over as rampant Russia defeat Egypt. Manchester United legend Patrice Evra absolutely destroys baby team Arsenal. Santi Cazorla sends class message to Jack Wilshere after Arsenal exit. Bernd Leno reveals chat with Unai Emey that convinced him to join Arsenal. Arsene Wenger sensed he had a special talent on his hands from the moment he watched Wilshere, then just 16, produced 2 stunning moments in a reserve game against West Ham at Underhill. A Dennis Bergkamp-esque curler into the top corner and eye of the needle pass to assist Ruifan drew a trademark, knowing grin from Wenger, who could not wait to thrust the precocious teenager into the Premier League spotlight. His early promotion was ultimately his undoing, but in those early years Wilshere was utterly captivating, inspiring and pure box office. Electric over 5 yards, laser-guided passing, a tenacious, daring dribbler and a nasty streak which only further endeared him to Arsenal fans. Despite his diminishing powers, that bond between player and supporter never wavered and was typified by the visceral roar from the usually timid Emirates crowd which greeted Wilshere's only Premier League goal of last season against Chelsea. Typically, the warm glow which accompanied that picture-book moment took just 4 minutes to wear off as Hector Bellerin's clumsy challenge provided Eden Hazard with an invitation to win a penalty that swung the match back in Chelsea's direction. It was the sort of haphazard, self-inflicted wound that came to characterize Wenger's latter-day Arsenal. The father-son relationship which existed between player and manager meant Wenger was unlikely to ever be capable of pulling the plug on Wilshere's Gunners' career. But Unai Emery's decision to ease him out of the picture provides genuine cause for optimism. The Spaniard wants his team, and midfield in particular, to play with tempo, energy and power, and Wilshere's body was unlikely to allow him to keep pace. He struggled badly towards the end of last season, particularly against elite opposition and in the later rounds of the Europa League as games simply passed him by, to the extent that Gareth Southgate felt comfortably able to leave him out of his World Cup squad, despite not being able to call upon a comparable alternative. As well as Wilshere, Emery has overhauled the club's coaching setup, axing cult hero Jens Lehmann in the process, passed on the option to extend Santi Cazorla's contract and appears prepared to allow 2 error-prone goalkeepers to leave this summer. It has been a ruthless, long overdue, near-total changing of the guard. Whether the likes of impending arrival Lucas Torreira and the midfielders Emery has retained in Granit Xhaka, Mohamed Elneny, Ainsley Maitland-Niles, all of whom have recently signed new contracts, as well as Aaron Ramsey, can thrive under their new manager remains to be seen. The Spaniard is a highly competent coach, but he is no miracle worker. Wilshere's race as an Arsenal player, however, is run. The long list of clubs interested in his services is a tribute to his undeniable talent, but sadly one which was destined never to be fulfilled at the club he so clearly loves. Alexander Golovin's dad drops major transfer hint amid Chelsea, Arsenal and Man United links. Sampdoria basically confirm that Torreira will replace Wilshere at Arsenal. Arsenal fans turn on Unai Emery for forcing Jack Wilshere out of the club. Jack Wilshere confirms he's leaving Arsenal, an emotional message to fans.